Imagine your world starts deleting itself bit by bit, piece by piece, until eventually you're left with one block in an infinite void. What would you do? This is the story of Nights. We open up to him in the house. He opens the door, and it seems to be normal Minecraft gameplay at first. Gives us a tour of his base, and we see a castle for a split second. Remember this castle because it will be important later. He comes across a giant chunk, just a whole section of the world missing, gone. We see him look down there, but there is water below, so he would survive, but he opts not to. He decides to make a stairway down, but eventually gives up. The gameplay seems relatively normal after this, but then we see this. There is an entire deleted chunk right in front of his house. But in order to understand what is going on here, we must continue on with the videos. The gap from last video is still there, and he looks around, and it seems to be normal once again. But this happens. There is yet another hole right next to his house, this time more closer to the castle. He comes towards it with the axe, then drops his dirt into the hole. He heads back over to his castle and then sees that there is a hole right next to it that took some of the castle away. He does some repairs and the video ends. In the description it says, "Fixing Danny's castle when more blocks glitched." We do not know who is doing this to Night's world, but in order to understand, we need to head forward. At the moment, this video will not make a lot of sense, so I'm gonna let it play without commentary. Like I said, the video does not make sense at all, but it will soon, I promise. Let's move on to the next video. We open up to see him looking at the castle. Then we see an entire huge chunk of the world is taken away. He stares around and looks in confusion. He kills some chickens, possibly in anger. He kills more and more chickens as the sun goes down. There are missing blocks everywhere. He eventually heads back inside his base, but only just to get more tools. He heads outside, placing torches as he goes. He places TNT. It blows up. He places more and more TNT. He does this throughout the night. Just destruction. Eventually he goes back to his base for good and goes to sleep. In the next video, it sees that he's trying to make some repairs. There's not much to dissect, so we'll move on to the next video. But before we do move on, I would like to just look at the description real quick, because this will be vital to the story later on. The description reads, repairing the damage and making amends. Let's move on. In the next video, we can see that the damage has gotten way worse. There's an entire border separating the world. He tries bridging across, but eventually gives up. Let's move on to the next video. This video is not much to decode. It's just him chopping wood and fixing up some stuff. But in the transcript, we get this. At 2 minutes and 12 seconds, we get random text. But this actually isn't random. This is actually a YouTube URL. And plugging it in, we get this. We see him get materials to make a nether portal. And that is exactly what he does. Now keep in mind, this video is titled Escaping to Hell. So please keep that in mind. He makes the nether portal and jumps in. Then we see a road. This does not look like the nether at all. We can see the redness, but nothing is showing. Then we can even see stoplights. But then I realized something. In the other video, there was a description that said fixing Danny's castle. But how come we haven't seen Danny in any of these videos? That's when I realized that Danny is no longer with us. And I have proof. See, in the video it says escaping to hell. But that means that that would be his hell. And that he actually died in a car crash. Why else would there be roads and stoplights in the nether? And this is why his world is deleting itself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's continue with the video. As he goes further, we can even see cars all around. This further supports our theory. Let's move on to the next video. In the next video, he's decided that he's had enough and that he was going to move into the castle. But in the next videos, as you'll see, it gets insane. In the next video, his world has been stripped down to almost nothing. He begins bridging out, night and day, until eventually he sees land. He looks around, not seeing that much resources. Eventually, he heads back. But he surprisingly heads back with a chest. Then it looks like he makes some sort of offering. Then he heads back and the video ends. With only 2 more videos left, buckle up, because things are about to get crazy. Before I break down the last 2 videos, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers so I could do a live stream. So make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button. Now let's move on to the next video. The next video is titled Amichania, and for those of you who don't know what that means, it is a Greek goddess of helplessness. Let's watch the video. We see him grab some more meat, possibly for another offering. We see him break the bridge that he bridged out before in the other video. Eventually, we see that the island is gone. He goes to sleep, and the video ends. We are approaching the final video. Let's watch it. For this video, I'll let you watch it yourself. No commentary, just Enjoy. What you just saw was him going through the 5 stages of grief. And that was the story of Knights.